afternoon. This is Carol Grant with United Country Virginia Realty and Kerr Lake Living. I am here today with Patricia Charles. She is the owner of the Delicate Flower B&B and also Sugar It Up here in Clarksville, Virginia. Thank you for doing this interview with me. You have brought so much to Clarksville, and I just really want to showcase you today.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate the interest in the business, not only from fellow business people, but also in the community. So it's been a very welcoming effort so far.
Well, very good. Well, first of all, we know what you, as far as I know what you do here in the community, but I don't know much about your background. So tell me a little about your background and what brought you to Clarksville.
Absolutely. So it's one of the running jokes in the family is we say that my sister and I, we were born here in Virginia, so we came back to roost. Before I came here, we were in Connecticut. I got tired of the snow, so that meant I said, I've got to go south. So we started looking around for lake property and a little community, and we kind of stumbled upon Clarksville through my brother-in-law and my sister who had lived in the state at that time. And so we started looking for property here, bought property on the lake, and then I needed a place to stay while we built on the lake. So I had to convince my husband that we wanted the Morton Sizemore house.
I've always loved that house, always loved it.
It's a big, beautiful Victorian, sits right on Virginia Ave,
yes.
And it needed a lot of help. So part of that background goes with, I'm former military. I was a Navy machinist for 5 years, and I was stationed in Groton, Connecticut. So I learned a lot of my mechanical skills from that experience, and I credit the Navy with the one teaching me the difference between a flathead and a Phillips screwdriver. So with that experience, I was able to do renovations for the house. We do a lot of our own building, from painting, scraping, drywall, roofing, flooring, all of that. And that's what helped with pulling the Delicate Flower Bed and Breakfast back into its former beauty.
Yes.
So we were able to open her up in 2019.
Why did you choose the Morton Sizemore house?
I love old houses and I love Victorians. And so with it being there, I'd always had in the back of my mind that I had wanted to open a bed and breakfast. And that seemed to be the house to do it. And so when I finally was able to get in to look at it, I knew immediately, because the ceilings were so tall, I said, I could have a 10-foot Christmas tree here. Yes. And that's exactly what we did the first year. So, along with the preservation, so there's things that go along with preservation. Of course, it's on the National Registry of Historic Buildings. And so we have that historic easement on it, but we also have an interior easement on the house. And what does that mean for people? When you have a historic landmark, you can't change the outside without permission. But with a historic easement on the inside, I can't change the inside without permission. And I willingly bought the house because I love the house and the beauty around it, that I knew that I didn't want to change anything within the house. So, we can do minor things, paint color, stuff like that. What that means is you can't remove walls and so forth.
Gotcha.
And which was fine.
Yes.
So I did have to, tell my husband, no, we can't put recessed lighting in because they didn't have that back in the 1800s.
That's right.
So, some of that stuff is a challenge, but working with the Department of Historic Resources, they have not been a challenge for me. They've been very willing to help. They've not really said no to anything that I want to do. They're very lenient on kitchens and bathrooms and stuff because they know we have to modernize. So it's been a very good experience with them.
Well, very good. So, hi. Welcome.
Hi.
So, Patricia, you've been here how many years? 5?
We'll be coming up on 5 years in May.
All right. So you also have family that have kind of followed you to Clarksville and have contributed greatly to Mecklenburg County as well. So give us a little input on that.
Sure, absolutely. So what drew me into Virginia anyway was my younger sister and her husband who lived in Lynchburg at the time, and they let me onto the lake and the properties around here. So I came down to look, and I said, oh, yes, absolutely, I need to be in Clarksville. So that was where it first started. And then once I moved here, then my sister decided that her and her family were going to come from Lynchburg and head this way as well. So they ended up over in Boydton. Meanwhile, I've had my mother with me for about the last 8 years. She's lived with us. So I had Mama. I now had a younger sister. And now my older sister decided as of last year that she was going to come to town as well. And she found a place in Boydton, and they opened up the Pearl on Jefferson, which is another bed and breakfast.
Yes.
So now I have, out of 4 girls, there's 3 of us girls here, and I have 1 more sister that we're trying to get down here from Connecticut. So
very good.
Then I will have my core immediate family with me.
Yeah, oh, that's so exciting. Christmas will be a little bit easier, less travel, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So right now we're recording in the bakery, and the smell is just so enticing, and everything looks so beautiful. You have that wall over there of all the candies. It's just a set for Valentine's. So tell me a little bit about your bakery, what all you do, and not just where people can come in and place orders or buy directly from the cases, but maybe what you do as far as events.
Okay, absolutely. So we have actually been opened here 1 year in the bakery itself, a physical location. I've been a baker since the late 1990s and had a bakery up in Connecticut as well. But I've always had to work a full-time job, so I couldn't always walk away from it. So once we got down here and I got my feet wet and started doing it, my sister had wanted to come in and work for a bakery as well. So I went ahead and opened the bakery, and she manages for me. That's my sister Beth. And so what we do here is we have a lot of the regular bakery items. So you can come in and you can get cupcakes, brownies, pastries, turnovers, and stuff like that. We also provide quiche. That's another big seller for us right now.
Yes, my eyes are drawn to it, let me tell you.
It's a very big seller. So for those that don't want to eat sweets, or have a preference for the savory side, we do that. On top of that, my sister Beth is also my bread maker. So usually on Fridays and Saturdays, she has, sourdough and focaccia, and you can order dinner rolls from her. We try to do special breads, for a season, like an Easter bread, all of that kind of stuff. So she's my bread maker, as well as I said, managing the bakery for me. But yes, as far as special orders come in, you can place your orders for wedding cakes, birthday cakes, anniversary cakes, cupcakes, cookies, decorated cookies, all of this type of stuff. I provide, cookie kits during some of the holidays so people can do that with their family. Now, for those that are having like an event and they want to be able to, not have to bring their own goods. So they'll call us up and we'll go ahead and provide for, kind of not like a dessert table, but like a breakfast table or something like that, for whatever it is that your needs are. That will come in, we can bring in the, the item, set it up for you, and that way nobody has to bake. They leave it to us.
Yes. Well, I imagine that anyone that's coming to visit Clarksville and maybe are going to be staying, whether it be at the cabins at Okanichi, they could certainly call ahead and get all their breakfast goods and needs, in advance and come and get it, and then just
take it away. And that's what a lot of them do, especially when they're coming up on, say for instance, they're having a shower or, something like that, and they have to serve breakfast to somebody. They call up for their quiche.
Yes.
Then somebody rolls right in here and picks up the quiche and take it over there, so that, again, they don't have to spend the time baking, because we know baking can take some time to do.
Yes, because
I know you're familiar too.
I am. It's not just the baking, which can be a joy. It's the mess.
It's the mess.
It's the shopping. It's all of it. And just to have it right here at our fingertips is fabulous. Well, Patricia, I think it was last night, had our Chamber of Commerce meeting down at Heights, and you, of course, are the Chamber President.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your responsibility with that and the other ways that you have contributed to the community since you've been here.
Absolutely. So I've been on the Chamber probably about 3 or 4 years now. It seems like they reeled me in as soon as I got here.
Yes.
Which has been a real blessing to me because I love involvement. Currently, I am the president of the chamber, and so some of my roles is to try to bring other businesses together, to help each other and build up on each other so that we're being supportive. And the more of us that there are, the easier it is for all of us to be able to gather and network and just really, I think, promote each other. I think that's the key. And it doesn't matter if you're in the same type of business, because if you're successful, then I can be successful. And that's kind of my philosophy along that. So part of my role is I want to continue to bring businesses to the chamber and then let the businesses know what we as the chamber can do for them. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people may not know. They're like, oh, well, let me join the chamber. And then they don't realize, well, we help advertise for you. We promote you. We bring the suggestions. If somebody calls and says, hey, do you have somebody that does X, Y, and Z? It's like, yes, here are our chamber members that can provide that service or product for you. Right. So a lot of that, we do. Also, along with being the president of the chamber, I'm also on the steering committee for the Main Street Virginia. So that's a 2-year program that we were selected here in Clarksville to be a part of. And what that does is there's an organization out there that provides resources and assistance to us to help build our Main Street.
Oh, that's
so
fabulous.
We just started with that with our meeting last week. It was a kickoff, so I'm really, really looking forward to doing that project as well.
Oh wow! So, I'm excited to see what all y'all have to involve.
Yes.
That's going to grow us. I mean, we're growing. I can see it. Mm-hmm. But man, what we have in store with that 2-year program,
it's what it could be, yes, right? And so we want to look to the future and do things that will really help promote Clarksville and bring new people to town and new businesses. And so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we need it. Praise the Lord. Thank you. All right. So the last question I ask everyone that I interview, and that is, what impact do you hope to have, not just with your businesses here with the Delicate Flower and Sugar It Up, but just you as an individual? What impact do you hope to have on Kerr Lake living?
Oh, that's a really good question, because I think it's many factors. So, if the businesses build, then the community builds, and then, make it, I guess, easier for everybody to find the services and stuff that they need, but also to diversify, right? So that's really key too, to make sure that, we're thinking about all businesses, all peoples and everything like that, mm-hmm. So that we can all be cohesive mm-hmm. and be all one community. That's really what my hope is.
Yes, indeed. Well, you have certainly added a great sweetness to Clarksville.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Patricia, tell me a little bit about why you named this place the Delicate Flower.
Yes, so that's kind of a funny story. So, being former military and being, a machinist at that, so obviously I have a mechanical background. But at one point, somebody had called me a delicate flower, and that is so not me. I was a tomboy growing up, and I have no problem getting my hands dirty or anything like that. So it was really funny that they had called me a delicate flower. When our previous house, my husband and I, he had a big old oil tank outside the house, and he wanted to move it into the basement. And he said to me, "Oh, well, let me wait until I get some of the guys to come over here and help me." And I said, "What do you need that for?" So we just went over there. I said, "Let's go." And we hefted that 275-gallon oil tank and put it in the basement. And he said he knew at that point I was his. This was prior to when we got married. So then once we bought the house, that was a spin on the word. It's like the delicate flower. And what you see around this house, which is why I know this house was meant for me, from everybody that wanted to look at it and take it and stuff like that. In a lot of the details of this house, there are flowers.
Yes.
And I can show those to you as well as we walk through the
Yes,
house.
Well, the first thing I'm seeing is this gorgeous wallpaper. I know you said that purple was your favorite color, but this is fabulous. I love the wallpaper.
Yes, and it definitely goes with the house. And when the previous owner stopped by to give me some of the old Morton's books, because this is the Morton Sizemore house. So one of the Sizemore descendants dropped by with some Morton books. And she said to me, she's like, oh, you did the wallpaper. She says, well, you know what? Granny's favorite color was lavender.
Oh, that's so
and
special.
So this is Mrs. Sizemore's favorite color as well.
That is so sweet.
This is the peony room. And so this is one that we use for traveling families. And so you'll notice the color of the walls here. I'm a girl that loves color, and before I could put it on the outside, I needed to see what it looked like in a big space. So I put it up on these walls. This is a peach color, and we absolutely love it. And people come in here and say wow all the time.
Yeah, it's
so
definitely
once I
wow.
saw that it was here, I said, okay, now I can put this on the outside. So that's how we got the peach on the outside.
Well, it is lovely. I love this room. It just makes you happy when you walk in.
Yes. Okay, so this here is the Bluebell room. It's the largest room in the house. It has 2 porches that go with it. One is covered, one is not covered, meaning enclosed, I should say, not covered. So it was one of the rooms I think that they had just stopped working on when we got it, because we didn't have to do a whole lot of work to it except paint it. But in here, noteworthy, is this bathroom used to be a kitchen.
Oh, wow.
So we had to gut the whole thing out with permission from the DHR, of course.
Yes.
And we built in the kitchen with a walk-in shower.
That
And
is so interesting.
When you go through here and you go to the right, it takes you to the outdoor porch that goes in between 2 bedrooms. And then if you come to the front, this is looking towards the front of the house, and it has a porch as well.
Oh, yes. So beautiful, overlooking the town.
Yes, you look at the town and what's going on.
Yes. This bed is lovely.
Isn't it? Yes, we get a lot of comments that it's very comfortable.
So if we go in here and go to the right, we'll go out to
There would be
another
another
porch.
door that goes to an outdoor porch.
Gotcha. Very nice. I love the little fireplace in here. Makes it cozy and warm.